Hello, crafty friend. It's Justine Dvorak from Stationery by Justine, where when I craft, my world stands still. Today, I am very excited to share with you the Spellbinders Club items for July 2025. If you want to hear my opinion and a close-up look at all of these, stay tuned. If not, if you're just here for the cards, that's fine too. Skip ahead to this timestamp on the screen and you can just jump right into the making with me. Otherwise, let's settle in for a little bit of a chat about the club items this month. They're super cute and perfect for Christmas in July. So let's start with the first item. It is the embossing folder of the month. This is the regular embossing folder. So it has regular sized embossing. So it's not going to be that high embossing as of the 3D. We'll get to that in a second. But this one is called Nordic Noel, and it is very beautiful. It reminds me of my heritage, which is kind of that Nordic life. All right, let's move on to the next one, which is the Spellbinders 3D embossing folder. This one is called Starry Snowfall, and it is super gorgeous. I can see this being used for white and doing some red and greens on there for some cute Christmas cards, or even some white paper with some blue or purple or indigo on there, and that would be just so gorgeous. We'll see what I come up with. I haven't decided yet. I just got these this week, so we'll see what happens. All right, next is this, and I'm going to put pictures on the screen of some of the close-ups and the graphics and such over here on this side of the screen. So if you see that, that's great. I'm going to be over on the left here and chat with you about what we have going on. So this is the regular die of the month. It's called Cocoa Greetings. It's just super cute. You can do different animals with this. They are showing you a penguin on their example, but you can also just do, I think, a reindeer. I haven't gotten into it completely, but it looks like to me, you can do a penguin, a reindeer, and a Santa Claus, which, hello, everyone loves all of those things. Really cute, and it looks like there's some embellishments that you can add with it, like snowflakes and candy canes. Super, super cute. Little deer ears and a mustache for Santa Claus, of course. So that is the small die. Very cute, and you can kind of see a little sneak peek of the better press on the background of that example. Let's move right along to the large die of the month. This one is called Mugs and Mittens. And it is very cool because it makes this scene, which you can see on the screen there. And you can put different things into the cocoa as the little, I don't know what it's called. I'm trying to think of what it is, but like the little scene that you want to build in the mug. You could skip that completely and just have Mittens holding a mug with a little bit of some steam coming out of it. Or you can put in, let's see what we have here. We have a snowman, a Santa Claus. I'm pretty sure there's a snowflake as well. Let's just really dive into this one. Yes, there's also a snowflake. So you can see there's lots of options for what you can do with this one. And it does come with a die, a sentiment die that says Warm Cocoa Wishes, which is adorable. Perfect for Christmas and winter card making. Even like a winter birthday, this would be super cute for that. Okay, moving on to the glimmer. Just kidding. Wax seal. We'll do the wax seal next since I have this here. So when I'm doing this voiceover recording, I don't have the wax seal in my little crafty hands yet, but I do have a picture of what it will be. And you'll see if I get it by the time I film all of the items with the club. You'll maybe see it on some projects, or you will see it later this month on my channel. That's just kind of the way it is. This one is called Arctic Knit, and it is a square wax seal. Very cool. I'm excited to have that one in my crafty hands. Let's talk about the glimmer next, because with the glimmer, you get two things. You get a roll of foil and you get a glimmer plate set. So this month you're going to get silver. That's what my spreadsheet is telling me, which is perfect because silver you can use with any single die ever that you have. That's for glimmering or better pressing. It is one of the most versatile colors you can bring into your craft room, and this is perfect for winter and Christmassy themed cards. I'm all about it. Glimmer foil for president. Okay, that felt like I was giving like a candidate speech. Okay, moving right along. This is so gorgeous though. It is called, let's check the name. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's called Arctic Glimmer, which is perfect for a Minnesota snow-loving gal like me. Look at all those snowflakes. It's a one glimmer situation, so you don't have to put all of these in just the right spot. You can just glimmer this whole thing and bam, you have a background, which is chef's kiss perfect. Plus it comes with 2 sentiments. There is sending winter hugs and let it snow, which you're welcome. Now that song is going to be stuck in your head, I'm sure. But you can pop things on top of it like they did here with this little Santa Claus. Put whatever you want on there or just leave it as it is. It's just a really stunning plate just looking at it, and I'm excited to glimmer it for myself and to show you. You know that I'm going to definitely pull out some of that black cardstock and put it to good use. I love that black cardstock from Pajama Crafter Stamps. Just saying. All right, let's move on to the stamp and clear die. This is really adorable because of this font. Do you see this stitchy font? My stitchy heart is all about this. I'm very excited about this. And plus these snowflakes are very cute. They're very Nordic looking to me for whatever reason. I think it's just how they designed them, and that is everything I'm about. So this will be super cute with the stitching die, which I'll show you in just a minute. But this one is called Stay Snuggly. Hello. I would love for you to stay snuggly, my friend. We're going to talk about this in just a minute or two, but I'm going to keep it here on the screen so you can just see how cute he is, and so I don't forget to talk about him in just a minute. Alrighty, the stitching die. Let's talk about it. It's a shaped card. Have you ever made a shaped card? Let me know down in the comments. I need to know. I've made lots and I do love them. This one is probably the most unique shape for a stitch die that I've ever done, which is making me excited. And I think this one is going to go on my road trip. So if you see multiple examples of this one, that's why, because I'm going to be in a car for a long time going over to see my crafty friend Melanie, having a family vacation, meeting my crafty friend Joy. It's summer and I'm loving it. Anyway, I am just super excited about this summer, and stitching is something I love to take on the go. I'm sure I'll be talking more about that momentarily in the video, but look how cute their example one is. They have these sweet little snowmen holding hands. Get right out. Plus, it looks like they pulled in the stamp set there. That is so, so cute, and I'm very excited to get this die cut so I can get stitching. Oh, by the way, this is called Frosted Stitch, if you were wondering. Trying to get better at saying names of products. I'm not the best at it, for just being frank here. All right, this is the Better Press of the month. It is adorable, and it reminds me a lot of the Embossing Folders. So I think if you're getting the caboodle, you're going to get both. But the difference is the Embossing Folder has this little Nordic stitch, which to me is a little bit different than this. And I think that this is just a little bit, like, they're different enough where having both isn't going to be odd. And this really adorable font is coming back here, and it's now on a Better Press sentiment. So we have Cozy Wishes and Holiday Cheer. So like I said, you can make birthday cards even that are wintry with something like this. If you're someone who likes winter. I happen to be one of those people. I think winter is maybe my favorite, although in the summer I get so much more time to craft, and that is just beautiful. But I love a good snow day, and I love a good snow, like a fresh snow. It's just so good. All right. Daydreaming as it's 99 degrees here in Minnesota today. A little bit hot, but guess what? Yesterday was 63 as the high, so you never know. Minnesota, it's always keeps it real here. Moving right along to the stencil. This one is called Warm and Woven. I love that name, by the way. Okay, the stencil usually has 5, and yes, they have 5 again this month, which is really fun. Look at this. This is going to be so cute for so many different backgrounds. I can't wait to use some lunar paste or solar paste or some of that paste from Altenew on this one. Look at that. Just so cute. It's so simple, but it's just, you can put anything on top of that and make it a lovey-dovey style card. And I think that is just so good. All right. I kind of chatted about it at the beginning of the video, but part of my heritage is that like Swedish, Norwegian situation. I'm mostly Ukrainian and Russian, but born in America. Here we are. Enough about my my genetics. But this to me is like everything that reminds me of Christmas when I think about my grandma, and on my mom's side, my grandma Justine. This reminds me of everything. She would be all about this if she was here still. And I think that this card would be so cool to batch and make a ton of Christmas cards. And you could even get like the whole family involved if you're someone who has lots of little helpers in your household and you want to make your own Christmas cards. Stencils are so fun. Get the family involved. Maybe have one person do a color. Maybe have one person be the stenciler. Maybe have one person be the trimmer. You can put anything you want on this. But how cute. Now this just popped into my head. How cute would it be to have this be your Christmas card background? And then if you're that person who likes to put your family on your Christmas card, lovely. Maybe you could put your family Christmas card right in that center. How cute would that be? Grab a nesting die and put your family on there, or maybe you have just your dog as your Christmas card. Put little Fluffy right there. How cute would that be? I don't know. I think with Christmas cards, you have a little bit more freedom to kind of do what you want with your Christmas cards, and especially if you're making a whole bunch of them, if you're batching them, I think stenciling would be a fun, quick way to get a bunch of backgrounds. Same with Better Press. Embossing folder, that would give you quick backgrounds, not so much the stitching unless you're a really big stitcher. Glimmering would get you a lot of quick backgrounds as well. So just my 2 cents. Now, like I promised you, we're going to talk about that cute little gingerbread man who's been looking at me this whole time. Gingerbread Man, how adorable is he? Now, if you don't know about the clubs, we're going to chat about the clubs real quick. If you get the caboodle, which is what Spellbinders calls You're Getting Everything, if you sign up for that, or if you already are a member of that, you're going to get this die, which is called Ginger Snip. Sip. Ginger Sip. I promise I can read simple CVC words. Okay, now this little guy, we're going to look at his dies here. He is a simple gingerbread man. So not only can you take this and use this on multiple cards, right? Just those dies. You can use this die and snip. Snip and sniff. Oh my goodness, don't sniff it. It's just metal. Okay, you can take this and cut off the top of his head, have a little bit of a craniotomy. Is that the right word? I don't know. Anyway, cut off the top of his head just a little so he can still be cute with his little eyeballs. And then you're going to put a little whipped cream on top for some fun hair. And then a little handle from the things from the small die of the month. Or you can have, I'm so sorry, my phone is going off. Or you can have multiple little gingerbread men all over the place. Something that I thought about with this guy when I saw him is how cute would this be to add in to Christmas cards in a few different ways. First of all, make him into an ornament, like a little paper ornament. Maybe do 2 of these and then kind of sandwich them together, put a little string in between. Or make just one gingerbread man, put a little magnet on the back, and then you have a little giftable for Christmas. I think there is nothing better than a handmade gift at Christmas. So I encourage you to get creative with your Christmas crafting. And yes, we can start in July with Christmas crafting because it takes a long time to make beautiful cards that you're going to send out to lots of people. Now, confession time. I don't always send out Christmas cards personally because I am a full-time teacher and I am a full-time card maker. So with that being said, if you just want to get these and send it to maybe a few lovey-dovey people, that's okay with me. Personally, I usually send a Christmas card to maybe about 10 people in my close family and friend circle, about 10. But that doesn't mean I don't make more than 10. It's just, that's really what I'm sending out. But with that being said, making these little paper giftables, like I said with this little gingerbread man, I think that you can make lots of them. I think that would be a super cute gift for like the kids in my class, doing a little magnet on the back for a Christmas gift. It's something that isn't very expensive. I mean, if I'm going to use good paper, it is a little bit expensive, but I'm not buying them something that's just like a choking hazard for their little sibling, like a bouncy ball or a sticker that's just going to get squished. But I just think handmade's always better. So with that being said, don't know why I'm touching my glass like this. With that being said, I'm going to take my stitching die on the road, and hopefully I have some examples to share with you. I'm also going to take my Christmas card kit from Spellbinders, and I'm going to be making with that with Melanie this upcoming week when I am with her. So when this video is going up, it have already been happened, but I'm really excited to craft with my bestie, and it should be so fun. So I'm still going to show you how to stitch with this die later on this video, but I'm off to craft and have a family vacation. It'll be so weird to take the whole week off. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. Anyway, let's jump into the making. And just like that, I've gone on my trip, I've come back, and now let's craft some more. Let's start off by glimmering, because it's a little bit chilly in my craft room with all of our air conditioning blasting. It's a bit much if you ask me, but that's okay. I can warm up with my glimmer machine. I'm going to use some glimmer foils that I've had in my stash and some paper also from my stash. My black paper that I always recommend for hot foiling is called Coal from Pajama Crafter Stamps. I will have that linked in the description if that is something that is interesting to you. It foils beautifully. I can't tell you how good it is besides just showing you. So I'm going to be using the hinge method on this better press plate. So that is basically creating a hinge with the card and the plate with a piece of tape, and then putting the foil with the shiny side facing the press plate and the grayish side facing my paper. Remember, gray is the glue. It's not actually glue, but that's the part that's going to adhere onto the card. So then I'm going to put that on my glimmer machine, press side plate down, because that is what needs to get nice and hot. And I'm going to fast forward that so we're not sitting there for too long. It's done. It's gone through my platinum, and let's check it out. Yes, it's hot. Be careful. I am a little bit reckless and I just touch all the hot things and it's fine. All right. Are you ready for this? It's so pretty. Oh my. Doesn't it look like frost? It's gorgeous. And I did glimmer this a few more times. I'm going to be die cutting it, using it on backgrounds, really just enjoying it. So there's 3 different panels. I'm going to use all 3 in my videos today, or my card today. If you know me, you know that I love a dramatic background. So I'm also going to use the same coal paper with a bright foil. This one's called Aura. It's one of my favorite hot foils from Spellbinders, with the gorgeous snowflake glimmer plate. Now I went off the deep end with this glimmer plate specifically. I made so many of them. I just kind of got in the zone. And so I'll show you all of them at the end of the video. Some of them I use, some of them I am putting in my stash to use at another date, but I really like this glimmer plate. And later in the video, I'll show you how, or not how, but just what happens when you double glimmer. It's so cool. I think you're going to like it. So let's check this one out. Ooh, it just looks so cool. I just sit there and just make all the light hit all those sparkly areas. And then sometimes I'll have my husband look at it and I'll say, hey, look, it's so cute. All right, let's chat about the Better Press plate. Again, I'm going to press it out with my Better Press system. And I'm going to use new ink that came into my craft room that I picked up at Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby left a lot to be desired in their paper crafting. I feel like every time I go there, it just gets less and less. But I did find this cute ink from Hero Arts that is an ombre ink, and it is a pigment ink. It is already ombreed. So I'm just going to rub it on the plate in a specific way so it creates this gradient. And it is so fast. Look how fast I inked that up. So cool. This card I am going to finish off camera, but I did want to show you that cool ink and also mention that I have a new handle on my 8.5-inch platinum that is making it very easy to use. So that is coming soon to the Spellbinders store. Look at that. Ooh, a little fuzz there, but no big deal. I really like this ink pad and I will be using it more, I'm sure. So I'll just pop those little tape rolls off the back, and I ended up adding the hot cocoa from the large die and finishing that card off with a little stamp. Really simple. Oh, and a little bit of some embossing paper behind that as well. Just super cute. And I did ink blend with some other Hero Arts ink that, again, I picked up from Hobby Lobby. It's called Just for Kids from Hero Arts, and it's called Blue. But look how gorgeous that blue is. It just really, really pops. And that cute little hot cocoa with a marshmallow snowflake. All right, the stitching die. Let's talk about it. I went a little bit bonkers with the stitching die. I ended up with these 4 panels that I will add to my little stash. I will use them another time, but I really liked stitching these and it kept me sane on my road trip. So how I make the shaped part for the background of it is I take the card base and I use the spine of the card. I don't cut the spine, so I'm moving the die over. I'm running it through my die cut machine, and then it gives you this piece. So you can open it up, write your memo inside, and create your card base, and it looks like a whole card front. Isn't that shiny paper? I just can't even get over that paper. That holographic paper was from scrapbook.com, and I will link that down below. Now I'm going to add in the little snowman. I really liked the example. I usually do not but I usually veer off from the inspiration pictures that Spellbinders already has out there because I'm wanting to give fresh and new ideas for you. But these snowmen just were so cute on the stitching project that I had to add them onto this one. So I went ahead and made 3 different little frosties there, and I'm going to add black coal rhinestones. You can see my little note that I made to myself there. But it just was a really cute little idea. I thought about maybe just 1, but 3 is more. Friends, snowman friends. That doesn't sound adorable to you. I don't know what does. So I ended up doing all 3. Now I'm going to put this card base onto my card front, and with the stitching die, there are areas where the white background is going to show through. So I'm just putting glue where it won't show. So a really light line down the center of the triangles and then the edge. And then I'm going to press it down and hold it. I'm cutting a lot of that out of the video because it's just me holding down a piece of paper. but for maybe about 20 to 30 seconds, you just hold it and you're good. You can also add foam and have it have a little dimension. I'm going to show using the stitching die in 2 more ways on my cards here today that look totally different than this one, so stay tuned. I'm going to finish off this one by adding lots of bling. I added light blue rhinestones, and now I'm adding a chunky clear rhinestone, really making this super, super shiny. What do you think about this holographic paper? I want to die cut everything in holographic paper now. It is just so fun. Oh, I'm just really enjoying this holographic paper. Anyway, moving on to our next project. Now look at this. This has been double glimmered. Now I don't have the video footage of making that because I just didn't. I don't know why, but I don't have the footage of it. But we're going to use it for a background for a shaker. Now this card is over the top if I've ever seen one be over the top. I'm using a full panel shaker from Trinity Stamps, and I will link those down below as well. And I'm adding the panel on going opposite of each other. So I'm doing the 2 long ends and then the side, which is the middle side. And I'm using my Teflon bone folder to really push down. And I have that protective film still on the cover as well. Now I have these 2 fun embellishment packs. They're both from Pajama Crafter Stamps. One is called Snow Day and one is called Chilly Willy. And I'm going to add some of those in there. I like the Chilly Willy one because it has these adorable penguins, and I think that is just too cute. And it also has these really chunky pearl balls that are fun as well. And they really help to make my shaker loud. I'm going to actually do a little sound check at the end of the video, and you can hear what it sounds like. To me, it sounds like a rain stick. Very good for sensory. All right, and then I will take my last piece off and then fold that over and give it a press with my bone folder and really get that sealed up. Oh, look at that. So shiny. That with a sentiment would be awesome. You don't even need anything else, but we're going to just go crazy with it and make it wild. I'm going to take the protective film off. Ta-da! Now it's all super shiny and it didn't get scratched up from my aggressive folding of the plastic. That is just so fun to play with. I wish I could pass this through the screen to you so you could play with it because it's that fun. All right, I've taken a rectangle, not reptile, goodness, a rectangle die from my stash and die cut out a rectangle from the card base here and made a little frame. Just glued it on, and this card is getting so sparkly. For people who don't like sparkly, this might not be the video for you because there is sparkle at every turn. Is there an inch of the cards that are not sparkly? I don't think so. All right, well, I am going to assemble the large die of the month with this card. I'm going to use the same arms and mittens multiple times on cards. So this is the one and only time where I will be showing how I assemble the mitten and the sleeve. So you put the whole mitten down, then the center part, and then the thumb. And then there is the option where you can kind of tuck things under that thumb. So if you want to do that, you can do that before you glue on the thumb. And then the cuff of the mitten. And some of the mittens that I have in this video have that cuff detail and some don't. Personally, in Minnesota, when I have mittens and a coat on, you know it's a cold day because I'm a sturdy gal and I don't always wear like a big coat. But if I'm wearing mittens and gloves, that glove and mitten is going to be shoved in my sleeve because I don't want any cold air touching my skin. So to me, I don't think that detail is too necessary for every card, but for this one, I figured I would just show you how to do it if that's your jam. I then have the stamp sentiment that says "Stay Snugly," which is just so cute, stamped out with periwinkle paper. Now, I am leaving this in because this is real life crafting. I went to snip a little here, snip a little there, and snip, snap, snip, snap. I went too much and there's barely a border. But you know what? That's life. So maybe you can relate. You have to whip out those scissors and try your best. I don't know. This happens to me probably 20% of the time when I'm doing sentiments. That's an estimate, but it's life and nobody's perfect. I'm pretty sure I already said in this video, but perfect is boring. Maybe I said that in another one, but I'm going to say it again. Perfect is boring. All right. Now these sleeves are just so darn cute. You can take them and have different colors and have maybe mittens holding hands. That was another idea that I just did not have time to make with this set. But I love these mittens and arms when they are popped up. So that's what I'm going to do here. And I'm going to help myself by using this sentiment to kind of connect the arms like so. I'll slide off the little gingerbread lady. I think she's a lady. She's got pretty eyelashes. And then I'll use some cardstock here, 2 layers to help that little sentiment not sag down, because that sentiment is already on top of the arms and the arms are double thick of paper, double layers of paper thick. Oh man, can I talk today? I don't know. So this is just giving everything an even surface. Then I'm going to take some foam strips and pop, 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 lifting everything up. Ta-da. Look at that. Ooh, this is going to be so good. Like I said, I wish I could pass this card through the screen to all of you to shake if you so desire, because it is so fun. I love shaker cards. All right, then my little gingerbread person is going to go on here. Now I have 2 of them. Again, real talk. Do you see that? I had some weird glue on the paper, and when I was ink blending, it ended up looking like an odd scar. And I figured for close-up video or close-up images, it wouldn't be representing the product in like the best way. And I didn't want to just toss it out. So I'm just going to glue it behind this one, and it will just be a little extra thick, but that's all right. I really went crazy this month with my ink blending on my dies. The sleeves and the mittens and the gingerbread person. I just went crazy. Oh man, that is so sparkly. I think one more thing I would do looking back at this card is I would take my Wink of Stella and add more sparkle, because the more sparkle, the better. I just wanted to show you the sides of this project so you can see it's not on a card base right now, but it does get rather flat. For adding it onto a card base, I recommend using a combination of liquid glue and double-sided adhesive kind of in tandem all together, and that helps with adding that card onto a card base because of that plastic acetate going around the edge. Stay snugly, my friends. Okay, now we're going to do a mini shaker, and I'm so excited for this card. My better press background, I again went a little crazy with my ink blending. And look at all those layers. I don't even know how many there are, but I did die cut out the mug several times with the center die. And that is the order that I'm going to assemble my mini shaker. And then I do have a piece of foam right here that I'm going to put on the back of my little layers of paper. So I have 2 layers of foam there, and then multiple layers of the mug. I don't even know how much. If I had to estimate, maybe 5. I really wanted it to be thick. So that is my little cup, and I'm going to put the back on of the mug, which is really like the bottom, and really press, making sure nothing is coming out. The reason why that stuck on is because the foam had some adhesive on the back. Then I'm going to take this tool from Rabbit Hole Designs. It's an anti-static tool, and it really just helps with any sticky. And it did leave a little bit of white powder on my project, so just note that it sometimes can do that. It has a clay product inside that really helps for static, and I don't mind it on my hot cocoa cup. It's just fine. All right, then I also die cut out a piece of acetate that's pretty small for my mug. I at first thought it would be a genius idea to use these little clips that my mom influenced me to buy that are for sewing and hand sewing things. And then they have these little teeth on them, 3 little dots, and I figured that might make marks on my cup, and I didn't want that, so I ended up taking them off. But do note that these are very helpful for hand stitching, for like felt projects, etc. I've really been having fun with felts recently. So anyway, I'm just going to use my gems to hold those down, and we'll use those little clips on some other project another day. All right, I have my mitten and my arm assembled, and that is going to hold my one mug. So it makes sense to have the handle of the mug close to the hand, unless you are the kind of person who holds a coffee cup and doesn't hold the mug part. I know there are people out there that prefer that, so I figured I would just mention that the placement of the mug kind of matters visually speaking. All right, we added some glue to that, and we'll put it down. And then we will be making a shaker with some fun little shaker bits that were a gift to me. I had a lovely crafty friend named Kathy send me a whole bunch of goodies. I was so pleasantly shocked when I opened my P.O. box, and she sent me a package. Well, I knew she was sending me a package because she let me know, but I was shocked to open it, and I thought that these embellishments would be just perfect for this month's clubs. So how fun is this? I did pull out the little peppermints because they were kind of the wrong green for my background, but all the other little pieces were just perfect. So thank you again, Kathy. I really appreciate it. These are just so fun, and that's the kind of hot cocoa that I would love. I would love to have sprinkles and such in there. Will I ever learn? Multiple times in this video, you're going to see me with these embellishments. And I do have, like tidy trays nearby in my craft room. They're right here. I have a blue one and a white one. Do I use them? I always forget, but they are helpful. I'm going to use the Trinity one here in just a bit because I will be putting more of these embellishments on other projects as I go along. So now that I have that all set, I'm going to add on the top part, which is my acetate piece, and then my cover, which is just another piece of white paper that I have die cut out for the mug. And I'll just let that sit on and press down. That's been sitting for a little bit. I'm going to add some rhinestones to my coat because hello, sparkle is best. And I love a black coat. I have a black coat, and if I could put sparklies on it, I totally would. And then the sentiment is from the stamp set. Wishing you magic in every sip. Isn't that sweet? All right, let's move on to another card. This one was fun to make because I figured it reminded me of outside winter events where there might be like a little table. Maybe it's like a hockey game or a tubing event where you ride inner tubes down a hill, or a ski chalet or whatnot, where you have kind of cute cups and a table. So this blue circle is going to be my table, and I'm going to rip these off of my project in just a few seconds. So do not be alarmed. It will be okay, crafty friend. We're going to make it better. I just thought they looked really flat like this. So I'm going to rip it off and put some foam behind that. But the circle die is, fun fact, one of my all-time favorite shaped dies. They are discontinued. They were from Spellbinders, but they don't sell them anymore. It's so sad. So sad because I love this die. It has just like the perfect amount of cute detail around the edge. There's multiple circles. It's just so good, but I get it. Can't have everything for all the time. So yeah, it's discontinued, but I'm still going to use it because it's just so cute. And I can't flip because I'm not a gymnast, but if it did come back on the website, I would be real happy. Okay, let's finish this one off by adding the third mug to the project. And by the way, in the background, I did add the embossing folder. So just a little bit of texture. I find that when I use solid cardstocks like this, having an embossing folder background is just so good. Did you hear that accent? An embossing folder. Sometimes it just sneaks right out. What can I say? All right, then I'm going to add little embellishments to this one, and voila, it is done. Super sparkly. By the way, all those mugs were made with paper that I glimmered with the glimmer of the month. Just darling. I just love how the light catches it, and it's just so fun. So I'm not going to tell you to tell Spellbinders you want this product back, but I wouldn't be upset if it came back on the website. All right, that's enough about the circle die. Moving on. Let's make a tried and true card with the large die. So I have my arms and my mug assembled. Let's just talk about how I get the little fog or the steam, more like the steam coming off of the mug. So there are these two little squiggly wigglies that I just am going to run through my die cutting machine, and ta-da, that is going to give me a little bit of an area. That will be the steam. Then I'm going to add a piece of vellum behind this, and that will just be a little bit of a steamy illusion behind my mug. Then I'll just trim that vellum down rather aggressively. I realize that it comes off on camera kind of a bit much, but anyway, that's going to go on my pink panel, which was with the 3D embossing folder. Now with this large die, I just want to mention, if that design on the cuff is not your thing, you can do what I did on this card and put the sleeves through the embossing folder. You could use any embossing folder, or you could leave it plain. You don't have to use the detailed design that is part of the die set. So yeah, if you're going to do this, don't use your scissors like I just did. Use your paper trimmer because I cut it crooked. But the show must go on, friends. Okay. Now I'm going to add this right onto my background, but I'm going to use, again, some glue. Now I get questions often when I use vellum about adding vellum. Now I would recommend adding vellum like this. So on something where you know that it's not going to pop off. If you have a whole panel, try to hide it under a die. When I say try to hide it, I'm talking about hiding glue under the vellum. You can add it under embellishments, little dots of glue, and you should be all set. But a sparkly hot cocoa is not finished unless it has marshmallows. So I'm going to add those little snowflakes as my marshmallows. Aw, too cute. Sending cozy hugs and cocoa kisses. Mwah. And that glimmer background is just so good. That is with the Glimmer Specialty cardstock and Aura. So that was the same color that I used at the beginning of the video with the black paper, and now it's on the white paper. So you can see how that one roll of foil changes, and it looks so cool on both papers, in my opinion. There's a close-up at the sparkly hot cocoa. Ta-da! All right, let's talk about the stitching die of the month. Now, this background was a stitching die, and I did not use the shaped die that goes around it. So that's what you're going to get if you don't use the outside die. And for this card, I'm adding a cute little penguin cup to my stitched die. So I will just show you the assembly of the penguin. And I'm going to add the stitching onto the card in a raised up way. Now, I realize that usually on my club videos, I show you how I stitch that specific die. I am not doing that this month, and I'm sorry. Ooh, that just rolled. I'm not doing that because I made, I think, 8 of these backgrounds in total. And at this point, I'm a little bit short on time due to our road trip. And I will just tell you that you are doing the circle method. Now, if you're looking at this video going, what in the world are you talking about, circle method? Well, I have a playlist on my channel called Stitching on Cards, and I have a playlist called Stitching 101 where I tell you all you need to know about stitching with paper. So if you're curious about what the circle stitch is, check out the Stitching 101 playlist. I'll teach you everything you need to know and what supplies you actually need and what you don't. I would say everything is very current, even though that playlist and video series is old to my channel, except I don't use the wax or the thread magic as much anymore. All right, I'm going to add this background. Look, I have popped all of that up. And I've only taken off the release tape on the edge. So in the middle, that foam is popping it up, but it's creating this cool shadow, and I am here for it. All right, this little penguin, he's telling me he needs a wobbler because he wants to dance. So I have this wobbler, and I do get questions, what side goes where? Put the thickest side of the wobbler on your project and put the skinny, flimsy side on your project. Did I say that weird? Put the thick side on your piece that you want to wobble, and then the skinny side, and that's flimsy, put it on to the project, like so. And then I cut this one down because right now I'm out of mini wobblers. It's fine. And then if you're adding wobblers onto things like this where the background is a little questionable on the support because of the thread and the big holes that this background has, just use some liquid glue, let it dry, it's going to be fine. Now I'm going to put this on the center and I'm going to move it because I don't like the placement. So he's going to get ripped up, but wow, wobblers are just so fun. I went back and forth on this card about what sentiment to use, and I end up using the cute one that says, "Stay warm, sip happy," because he's so cute and he's a mug. So he would like you to sip happy. I moved it down. Didn't like that placement either. Was distracting myself with the wobbler. And then chose to put it kind of crooked or wonky on the right bottom with the sentiment on top. I don't know why I was really trying to get that Merry Christmas sentiment on there, but it does not end up on this project, and that's a-okay because I can use it on another one. And of course, I am going to pop up the sentiment with foam. I wish I could pass this card to you as well because it is super fun to wobble. I almost put rhinestones on the cheeks. I wish I could tell you how close I was to doing that. All right, now I'm going to grab a white gel pen that is a Jelly Roll 10. Great size for adding details like this. Little lines and dots. Just so cute. And the little heart on his chest is just adorable. Oh, I wish I could pass this to you. You got to make your own wobblers. I will put some wobblers down in the description as well. They're super easy to use and they make such easy and fun interactive cards you could use for anything. It doesn't have to be for any certain holiday or any certain theme. All right, look at this Astro Paste. I got this for free. I don't really know if I call it free, but because I had to pay shipping from scrapbook.com, you know, that they do the free gifts. This was one of my free gifts from scrapbook.com, but then I ended up paying like $7 of shipping. So I feel like I paid for this, but whatever. That's how they get you, right? I had no idea that this paste was this good. Now, I have tons of solar paste from Simon Hurley, but I do not have any Astro paste besides this little jar. And I'm loving the sparkle that this brings. It looks a little bit muted when it goes on like this, but when it dries, this panel will end up looking like I die cut out 200 or 300 little hearts of glitter paper and glued them on. But in fact, all I did was just use this paste, and it looks so good. Now this paper is going to get a wax seal project with it, and I'll just show you that at the end, but goodness me, when that dries, it is just so good. I'll show you what it looks like dried in a little bit, but I'll put it on a craft stack and pop it off camera. Alrighty, let's get into the other part of the stencil. I'm going to use my new ink blenders from Trinity Stamps. I will also link those down below. And I have my inks closer on my desk than ever because I have been ink blending up a storm. If you can't tell, a lot of my dyes I ink blended because I'm just loving the texture and shadow that it gives. So I pulled out 4 colors from my stash and really just made this stencil be a little bit more modern and kind of have a pop. And I am using that same Just for Kids ink from Hobby Lobby. And let me tell you, that ink really is going to stain my sticky matte from Altenew here. So I don't think I show it on camera because I actually used it with that Better Press card at the beginning, but that happened after this project. I don't know if that's making any sense, but it's going to stain my mat. Honestly, I don't really care if I have stains and stuff on my mat. I just don't want it to get on my cards. But once it's dry, you know. I'm just going to use a baby wipe in between here because I will be switching to a light yellow. Now I realized my stencil was not lined up perfectly between the first 2 layers. Those little bursts are really supposed to be straight, but it's fine. I'm just going to go with it because it ends up being cute anyway. So this is the 3rd stencil for this set. And for whatever reason, I found these little rectangles on my stencil. I don't know if it was a fluke or what. Maybe they're supposed to be there, but I just put some tape over them and called it good. Now, this is one of my favorite greens from Simon Hurley. It's called Tropical Tango, and it is just such a good green. It's like teal green, and it is so perfect for florals and for really getting into those cool tone colors, which if you know me, you know I love cool tones. Clearly, I'm making multiple Christmas cards that are non-traditional, so yeah, I love a red and green card, but I also love purple and blue and green and pink. I love the whole rainbow, but those cool tone colors are just, they have my heart. All right, this yellow layer is the 4th layer, and it really is just going to pop and send this stencil off the deep end of cuteness. Oh, ready? Ooh, it looks so good. Now, I have big plans for this card. This card is going to get a deer. But I like this stencil so much that I really did not have the heart to cover it completely. So I have a little project here that I'm going to make something. So helpful and descriptive, aren't I? We're going to just quickly talk about the code word for the video. Code word is something that I like to do with some of my longer videos. And this is a code word that you're going to put in the comments if you are hearing me say this. And the code word or phrase, it's going to be a phrase this month, for this video is going to be perfect is boring. So if you put that in your comment in any way, shape, or form in the comments, I will know that you are here in the meat and potatoes of this video. And it will be a fun thing for us. Okay, so this card is going to be a tag / ornament / adornment. I don't know what to call this. It's going to be something cute to go on my card. We'll put it that way. I'm going to grab some ribbon. Where did this ribbon come from? It came from a container of soap that I got as a gift once upon a time. And I stored it because it was gorgeous. It's kind of like that blue greeny, like an icy color. So I hoarded it. I saved it. It's super cute, and we're going to reuse it and give it more life instead of going into the landfill. Isn't that just so sparkly? I think the camera can kind of pick it up there. And I'm going to sandwich that in between with my white paper. Now I have a super cute die that I pulled out from my stash, and it's kind of like the bubble frame. Isn't that so cute? That is from Lisa Horton, and I die cut out the center of it because the white part on the back is going to be where you can write your message. So you can say like, love Auntie Justine, or Christmas 2025, winter wishes, stay warm with your family in Bermuda when you go on vacation, whatever you want to write on the back. Put a picture of your dog on the back. I don't know. You can do anything you want with the frame. And putting that white cardstock behind there is just really giving the option a little bit more because it's white and you can write on it. So I'll just assemble this little deer as we go along here. I will put little pieces behind the eyes and the nose to help make the project come to life, but I did die cut out with some of that Glimmer Club snowflakes and make a cute scarf for my little dude. And I did save some of the little bubble cuts from that die, and I'm going to use them for embellishments. Then the circle that my deer is going to go onto, my deer, is a scrap from my stash. And if I can link that paper, I will. It's super gorgeous, and it's kind of like a marble paper. And I think it is from Spellbinders as well. All right. As we are at almost an hour through, I just want to invite you to a special Facebook group. If you have not joined the Stationery Maker group on Facebook, I encourage you to join now, call now. No, but join the group. It's a great place for inspiration and sharing crafty things, asking questions. I started the group, almost 4 or 5 years ago. I don't even know at this point. I started a long time ago. It's grown. It's great. I love it. I want to see what you're making. So if you're making stuff in your craft room or your studio or wherever you're crafting, maybe you're crafting on the go, I would encourage you to snap a picture of what you're working on and post it there. I don't mind if you are like a video creator, you can put your YouTube videos on there. The more card making, the better. Let's break the internet with all the cards, right? Okay, now I had to chuckle at this deer card because I showed my husband this finished project and he goes, I think the deer needs antlers. And you guys, I almost put the snowflake as the antlers. I almost did. I didn't. But maybe it's just one of the deer in between seasons. Did you know that deer drop their antlers? I was stunned the first time I learned that fun fact. So per usual, here's another video with a weird animal fact coming at you from me. But yes, deer, they will drop their antlers, and mostly it's because of see, I almost put him on his head. But mostly it's because of, now I'm like second guessing myself, but I'm pretty sure it has to do with testosterone levels and conserving energy in their bodies for winter. But yeah, you'll just be walking in the woods and then, oh, there's a whole antler just chilling on the ground. Yeah, they will just drop them. Moose do the same thing. It's crazy. It's so crazy. Do you have deer where you're from? I'm curious. Or elk? Wait, do elk? Now I'm like, really not. We don't have elk in Minnesota unless they're on a farm. Do elk have antlers? I am now going to Google that. Hold on. So yeah, they do. That's my blonde moment of the day. I have them often, and I can say that because I am blonde. So there. Yeah, they have antlers, and there's that. Anyway, moving right along back to the card. I've really gone off the deep end here. Now, I did not have the heart to glue this onto my project. So I'm going to do kind of something like I did with my stitching ornaments, or if I make paper ornaments as gifts, I will take them like this and I will just loop them inside of the card. And if I'm the one who's the giver of the card, I will just put a little bit of low-tack craft tape inside and then secure the ornament or giftable, however you want to call it. That way you could even put a gift card behind this. How cute would that be? So cute. Anyway, but you can do it that way, or if you just want to give this as a gift, you can. But I loved that stencil and I just could not cover it up. It's just too cute. But I'm loving this little reindeer, and I feel like this is saying my mom. Like, this needs to go to my mom. But Mom, if you're watching, act surprised in December. Or maybe you'll forget by then. I probably might. So if you don't get it, I'm sorry. Okay. Moving right along. This is going to be a quick card because you've seen me make the background and you've already watched me assemble the arms. So basically, I am going to add these adorable snowflakes. I have glimmered. No. I did not glimmer them. I die cut them out with holographic paper. And this bigger one, I die cut out with glitter paper. That white glitter paper is just so perfect for these snowflakes. And I'm going to add a whole bunch of rhinestones to these and make it all sorts of sparkly. Isn't that super sparkly? I just love it. The more sparkle, the better. In my opinion, I'm really just going crazy with showing you all the sparkle. Alrighty, here's a finished look at that card as well. It's giving icy blue. Oh, thank you for putting up with me. All right, my last project. Guess who stitched this? It's not me. I die cut it out and planned it, but I didn't stitch this one. What? Yes. Write who you think stitched this down in the comments, and then I'll tell you in a couple minutes here. So what I did for die cutting this is I turned the stitching die sideways on my paper, ran it through, and then took my paper trimmer and chopped the sides off. Okay, have you made your guess? Have you put it in the comments? I'm going to tell you who stitched it. It was my husband, Andrew. Yes, my husband, Andrew, stitched this on our road trip. You know, when it's a lot of hours in the car, you kind of get bored after a while. And he was not driving at the time, don't worry. And he stitched this up for me. So I think he enjoyed it. And he is a very creative person in general. So I don't think he really didn't put up much of a fuss. I said, hey, do you want to stitch? And he goes, well, sure. All I had to do was split the thread for him and he stitched it right up. So thank you, honey. And this card ends up being one of my favorites. A little hint for later. All right. This background, though, I have added my 3D embossing folder on the back just as a little texture. Do you see a lot of it? No, not really, but whatever. I know it's there. And if you look close at it, maybe squint with one eye closed, you might see it. Okay. Just rip off that little piece of foam there. It was sticking off. And again, we're going to do a one-armed card with one sleeve, one mitten. And then this Coco, I tried to show you in another way. Woohoo! I use the stamp from this clear stamp and die. I think before I said clear die. It's not a clear die, it's a clear stamp. And I have heat embossed white embossing powder. And I'm just going to pop that right onto my project. And I did ink blend a little bit. I thought about putting that snowflake on there. I really did. And these holographic and glitter snowflakes were just too cute to not put on anything. And this was the last card I'm making for a little bit. So I figured, why not use them up? I do need to rip this foam off of the back here because it's going to be popped up on my arm. So that goes bye-bye. Put a little bit of glue behind there so it's supported and stuck on my arm. Not my arm, but the card's arm. And then we'll be all set. And do you see the sleeve of the card has a texture and a pattern? That is the glimmer. That is when I used a maroon glimmer and used that coal paper from Pajama Crafter Stamps and glimmered that on. So cute. I just am obsessed with all things Betterpress. And if you are a fan of Betterpress or you're interested in Betterpressing, I would love to invite you to our Betterpress Babes night. Now on my channel, you might be able to see it. It might be scheduled already when this voiceover is going up. I'm not quite sure. But if you do join the Betterpress Babes on Facebook, you are going to be notified when Melanie and I go live. She's my bestie, and we go live once a month. And then this month, we're going to go live 2 times. 1 time on her channel, 1 time on my channel. And we have a new sponsor this week or this month. So be on the lookout for that. And subscribe to Melanie as well so you don't miss our live events. We just have so much fun with everybody in the chat, and I would love to see you in the chat as well. Now I am going to just go ahead and add more snowflakes to this cocoa because the more texture, the better. At least in my opinion. The more texture, the more glitter, the better. So I will just put those on with my little picker tool and add some glue. And yes, I am still loving and enjoying the glue press from Sweet Petunia. The only time that I notice it gives me any trouble is if it is really low on glue. And then what I will do is I will fill it up with glue, and then I will just take the cap over to my kitchen sink, run some hot water, make sure it's all clean and good, kind of give it like an oil change, if you will. And it's good to go for a long time after that. Way more helpful than my old glue bottles with the picks. If you know, you know. I do think it's worth it. I do get a lot of questions about it, so that's my 2 cents on the glue press. Alrighty, that finishes off this card. I'm going to go back into a live time where you're gonna see all the cards together. So be on the lookout for your favorite and let me know what is your favorite in the comments as we finish up this video today. All right, y'all. Y'all, this is what happens when I hang out with Melanie. Not that she says y'all all the time, but her southern, I don't know if you really call it southern. I don't know. I don't want to be like labeling anyone, but accents rub off on me, you know. Anyway, let's look at all the finished cards. I'm so thrilled with how these turned out. We'll just go through each one and just do one last little peeky peek. And then let's talk about what I'm going to do with the leftovers and show you the leftovers. And I'm going to talk about the wax seal some more as well. But I really think that the large die of the month was my favorite item for this month because clearly I put it on so many different projects. Although I really, really like this stencil. That's why I could not even cover it up with a piece. I wanted it to still be shining in its glory, but my goodness, how cute is this? So like I said, I'm going to probably make this a gift tag or a little ornament. Haven't decided yet. Who knows? This one is just so fun. Can you hear that? No, it is not a rain stick. It is my shaker card. Do you feel soothed? Let's put it real close to the microphone. Almost called it a microwave. Anyway, stay snuggly, my friend. I really loved the stitch die this month. I know that I've said that already, but I just love stitching. Shout out again to my husband for stitching this one. youthebomb.com, honey bun. Yeah, lots of non-traditional Christmas colors going on. How fun is that mini shaker? I told you there's a lot in store this month. Not a million cards this month, but hopefully there's something that you're liking. Have you picked a favorite yet? If you have, write it in the comments. I want to know which one's your favorite. I'll tell you at the end which one's my favorite. Sparkly cocoa. Everyone wants a sparkly cocoa card. I know I do. Anyone else have the song Holly Jolly Christmas stuck in your head after you read the sentiment? Just me? Okay. Okay. Okay, I have some leftovers, but let's talk briefly about the wax seal. So I have a plan for whenever I receive my wax seal. Here's the plan, Stan. We are going to, if you want to come over, you come over. No, but I am going to take this card base and I'm going to put this scrap inside because I could not have the heart to throw this out. How cute would that be? Just like a little strippy strip inside. Super cute. And then there's this matting layer. This is just, I cut out the center for some other project once upon a time, who knows. And then this gorgeous stencil. Again, I think I'm going to turn this one into a gift tag, kind of like I did with my deer, because I don't want to cover that up. It looks like I die cut out 300 little hearts out of glitter cardstock and made this. But I didn't. It was a stencil. Oh, just so good. And then this is from the emerald layer die from Spellbinders. And that will be, yeah, we're going to make it a gift tag or some kind of a tag situation in the future. And then I have my little snowflakes, as if, can you tell I like snow? They're all over these cards. But then I have my little sentiment that says stay snuggly. And whenever the wax seal comes to me, I don't get everything like super quick right away. It's usually the wax seal that is the last thing to come to me, but that's fine. I'm going to put that right here and make a cute little tag. How fun would that be? Now, let's talk about the leftovers because your girl has leftovers. Now, I'm just going to show you the leftovers that are not cut into because, as you know, I did cut into several of these, and that's all right. Okay, I got my card bases. Okay, here we go. These are going to be used in future projects, date undetermined. So I did kind of give you a little peeky peek at the beginning when I was showing you the wax seal, but I have 4 of these. And they're going to turn into something someday. Don't know when, don't know what, but subscribe and you might find out. Kind of like these. Oh, hello, falling ink pad. If you have been subscribed to me since last year, you know I brought this pug and cat up on vacation, up north on vacation last summer, and then never die cut. Well, I didn't put them together. I die cut them out, and they were extras from the video where I actually assembled the cat and the pug. But I thought, oh, I'll do another because why not? I liked making them. Yeah, I did, but I never put them together. So I brought them on vacation this summer. Finally, I put them together. It did not take any time, and it was like the perfect little crafty medicine, if you will, after kind of a long car ride one day. So I definitely recommend bringing something like that. And you just need a bottle of glue, and maybe some reverse tweezers, and you can craft on the go. Anyway, these are going to go in my to use later section of my crafty desk. Do you have that area in your craft room? I do. I have a card base even that I can add to that. Does that mean I have five of these done? No, four extras of the stitchy. And then I have 2 that are die cut that I did not end up stitching on vacation, but never say never. Probably take them on the road. I thought about maybe putting them together, but I feel like that doesn't have that big of an impact in my mind. It was going to be like this wow moment, but whatever, it's fine. I just wanted to show you different ways to use this stitching die. So not just the shaped card, but using it as a full card front and then using it as a panel sideways and just give you inspiration in that way. But I do have this really pretty red cardstock that I use the 3D folder with. I will make something with that sometime. And then I have 4 glimmer panels that I have not used yet, but I certainly will keep them nearby. Christmas in July has started, my friends, and there'll be some more crafty Christmas things coming your way on my channel. So if that's something you're interested in, stick around. If Christmas or like winter is not your thing, I've got lots of other videos you can certainly watch. There's that Minnesota accent coming out strong. No, but just stick around. I got lots of fun things up my sleeve for July. The crafty Christmas card kit, say that 5 times fast, is coming on my channel in a couple weeks, and I'll be at Paper Ganza in Kansas City in July. So if you are going to Paper Ganza, come and say hi. I would love to meet you. It's always good to see a crafty friend. And if not, that's okay too. You can just say hi in the comments, and that would be fun too. I would love to see what you're making. So if you get something from this club and you want to share your makes with me, please head over to my Facebook group. That's Stationery by Justine is my, that's my page. My page is Stationery by Justine, but the Stationery Maker group on Facebook is where you can post your crafty makes and share them out. I would love to see what you're making. If you're a scrapbooker, tag maker, journalist, whatever. Love to see it all. So I told you I would pick a favorite, so now I have to do that. And I think it's going to have to be the one that Mr. Andrew stitched, my honey bun. Why? Well, I have the large die of the month, which has the mitten, which I love. I love how I did the cocoa. I'm not trying to be like braggadocious or anything. I just really do like it. I love black on cards, so check that box. I love a heat embossed sentiment with white embossing powder. Check. I love a sparkle. Check. A fun embellishment with the snowflakes. Check. Stitching. So good. Check. Glimmered, a better press plate. Check. Ink blending on my dies. Again, check. So yeah. And plus my husband helped me make this card, so he's my best friend. So what can I say? Maybe he'll be a crafter one day too. I think he's more creative in house building, but that's all right with me. So I've shared my favorite. This one, I feel like my mom would really like this one. So I think that this is going to end up being maybe a special Christmas card for my mom. Usually I do a combination Christmas card for my parents, but maybe something will speak to me in the future that kind of is something that my dad would enjoy. So maybe I'll do separate cards. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? If this was a Yorkie, that would be a whole nother story. We love a Yorkie in our households, but this one was really, really fun to make. And I think that like all of my Sparkle Barbie, Lisa Frank, never mind. I think there was controversial issues with that brand. Anyway, I'm a 90s baby, so I love pink. I love sparkle, rainbow, bright colors. So that is, it's been in me since childhood. What can I say? Anyway, let me know which one was your favorite of the 10. I just have to sit and wobble this because it's just too fun. and play with my shaker cards here. This was really fun to make, by the way, with this little mini cup. I challenge you to make a mini shaker if you haven't tried it yet. They're super fun. All right, my crafty friend, that is where I will leave you. Like I said, write your favorite down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I really appreciate your support. Like I said before, I have all of the items linked down below, and if you have any questions or looking for something that I might have missed, just let me know in the comments as well. And we'll see you in my next one. Bye, crafty friend.